Okay, so that's what I was saying. So we're very simple. We believe there are many sources of knowledge. Yeah. And seeing, which is empiricism, seeing, touching, and hearing and smelling, is not the only way to know whether something is true or false. How do you know your father is your father?
You can do a DNA test to get it, right?
Excellent. The person who does the DNA test tells you that I've done the DNA test, that this is your father, which is called testimony. So if you have multitude of people transmit it, the same thing, that gives it, strengthens the thing. It does not weaken it, as you're trying to say.
Reading about it.
Are you Hindu?
I'm an atheist.
But from India?
Yeah, from India.
Okay. So, do you think the universe came from nothing?
Probably, I'm not sure.
Probably the universe came from nothing?
Probably.
But do you believe something can come from nothing? You believe in magic?
I mean, a lot of what's written thank you. A lot of what's written in religious books sounds like magic more than anything else.
Can you give an example?
Any miracle, pick up any book and any miracle that you see, that is magic.
If there is a creator, would a miracle be something illogical?
Sorry?
If there is a creator, i.e. something all-powerful and all-knowing, is the miracle something irrational?
It is irrational. I mean...
No, I'm saying if there is a creator.
Even if there is, I don't believe it till I see it, right? Like
what is a creator? Creator is something that is all-powerful. So,
but till you see it, you don't believe it. If you're going to tell me that there's going to be some...
You see your brain.
Sorry?
You see your brain.
But you know what it is inside it, right?
Do you have a brain?
Of course you do.
But have you seen it?
You don't need to see it.
You don't need, but you just said a few minutes ago,
scan it,
2 seconds ago, you told me.
You can scan it.
No, but 2 seconds ago you told me unless you see it, you can't believe it, right?
You can scan it.
And then you said, oh, no problem. When you scan, someone else will do the scanning. Therefore, you will have to believe what they told you. You've not really seen your brain.
But there's still proof, right? Instead of someone telling me that there exists a power that you can't see.
No, but can we agree so far now? Can you take back the claim that just because you don't see it, therefore you can't believe it? Because we don't see gravity. We do not see the phone signal that comes from your phone.
You see the effects of gravity. The phone signal can be measured on a device.
See the effects of God.
How?
The universe. Of course.
That's all claim to make, right?
No, but just as I said to you, it's just as you cannot have something from nothing. The universe to me is the effects of the creator.
There's a theory called Russell's.
This is a bit inconsistent, I would say.
Not really. I mean, I can tell you that I'm the one who's moving that light.
Stop moving it.
Exactly.
I will use your argument with you. I'll say, okay, no problem. That's a good claim. Go ahead, stop moving it.
But that's where you want proof, right? You want proof. You want proof.
No, it's not about wanting proof. I'm talking about your method that I believe is inconsistent. Because 2 minutes you say, unless you say you don't believe it, then you believe you have a brain. You believe in a country called China that you've not been to.
All of it, right? You can see all of it. The brain you can't see, you can scan it.
Again, I said to you, that's not seeing it. That's accepting the testimony. That's accepting the testimony of someone who shows you a picture of something that he says is a brain. That's not seeing the brain.
Not really, but okay.
What's the difference?
There's a big difference.
Tell me.
It's every time you scan it, it's going to look the same, as opposed to you telling me.
What do you mean? Every time you scan your brain, it will look the same? That's inaccurate scientifically.
It will look the same.
No, absolutely not. Of course not. There are changes that happens in your brain. If you have an MRI scan, of course there will be changes. You know the brain literally changes.
Yeah, of course there will be minor changes.
So it will not be the same.
Instead of you telling me that there's some higher power up there which you can't see.
No, leave the higher power now. You agree that you have to accept the testimony of someone who tells you this is your brain, because you cannot do the scan on yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so then it's testimony. It's not seeing your brain. It's seeing something that someone testified to be your brain.
Yes and no.
Okay, so that's what I was saying. So we're very simple. We believe there are many sources of knowledge. And seeing, which is empiricism, seeing, touching, and hearing and smelling, is not the only way to know whether something is true or false.
How do you believe in it?
Deduction, induction, intuitive knowledge, testimony, all of these are sources of knowledge. Like, how do you know your father is your father?
You can do a DNA test to get it, right?
Excellent. The person who does the DNA test tells you that I've done the DNA test, that this is your father, which is called testimony.
No, that's still empirical proof.
No, it's called testimony. Because you don't know how it works.
You do the DNA test 20 times from 20 different places.
How does the DNA test work?
You still get the same. It's going to match the genome.
No, how does it exactly work? What do they do?
As opposed to, okay, you go to someone.
Can you agree with me? Let's agree. We do not know the specifics of how the DNA test exactly takes place. Excellent. I do not know, so I have to trust the testimony of these individuals that they conducted the study. Number one, that they're telling me accurate results. Number two, so it's testimony. It's not seeing your DNA. So how do you know your father is your father?
But it is still consistent throughout the world, as opposed to you telling me something.
What is consistent throughout the world? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about sources of knowledge. We're talking about how can you know your father is your father.
Because of the test.
And I told you the test is testimony.
Be consistent throughout the world.
Sorry?
Do it in the UK, do it in, I don't know, any other part of the world, do it in the US.
No problem. No problem. All of them could be lying to you.
I mean,
is it possible? Is it rationally possible?
Of course it is.
Then it's not absolute because you don't see it.
Yeah,
what I'm saying to you is, look, is there a country? Have you been to China?
I have.
So you've been to China.
I have.
Have you been to Egypt?
Yes.
What part of Egypt?
All of Egypt. I've been to Sharm el-Sheikh. I've been to Luxor.
Okay. Have you been to let's say Hawaii?
I have.
You've been to all of the world. Have you been to Jordan?
I haven't.
Okay. So is there a country called Jordan? How do you know you've not been there?
That's such a random argument.
No. It's not. It shows that you accept the testimony of the individuals who come from there, and they tell you that there is a country called Jordan. Accept the testimony of the videos that are there, the footage that claims that this is. So the point I'm trying to make is that you accept other sources of knowledge.
Yeah.
One of them is testimony. So it's not an issue when a religious person has different sources of knowledge. One of them is testimony, accepting someone to be a messenger of God.
In the case of religion, it is only testimony and nothing else.
Which religion are you referring to?
Any religion.
That's not Islam. So maybe other religions.
Even in Islam, right? Like,
but you've not read the Quran, you just took it from me. How do you know what Muslims believe?
I know a little bit of it.
Can you tell me, okay, what are the main 6 articles of faith?
Everything that is in any religious book is as told by someone, right? Do you agree with that?
No. The Quran is verbatim the words of God.
As told by someone.
What do you mean as told by someone? Someone transmitted it to you?
The words.
Someone transmitted it to you.
Who wrote it?
Someone transmitted it to you. Just like the DNA guy transmitted to you the result, right? That doesn't make the result wrong.
But that's what I'm saying. It is.
Yeah, it's transmitted by someone, of course. It has to be.
So like everything is based on the word of someone.
It's not one individual.
Which makes it even more complicated.
No, if there is thousands or millions of people transmitting the same exact thing, separated by cultures, separated by cultures and separated by countries. No, the idea for the existence of God, for example, the people are separated by God, separated by cultures, and they transmit the same thing. I'm giving you an example. So if you have multitude of people transmitting the same thing, that strengthens the thing, does not weaken it, as you're trying to say.
If you go by that logic, there are tens of religions in the world. Which one's correct?
Good, you study the scripture and you use the the logic that I'm telling you about reasoning. I'm using reasoning and logic with you.
If you study the scriptures,
I have.
Is correct, and why?
It's not what I think is correct. What I know is correct is the Quran, based on my study of the Bible, based on my looking of the Hindu scripture, based on my looking of Buddhism and the other traditions. I've read the full Bible. I've read the Talmud. I have the Bhagavad Gita. I've read the Guru Nanak. The Guru Nanak. Yeah, there's 4 Vedas. There's 4 Vedas and also. Okay, I know. I'm not saying I don't know. But what is the point you're trying to make?
I'm trying to say, if you say that there are thousands of people saying God exists and thousands of people have different interpretations of God, which one's correct?
What? They're all correct that God exists. The interpretation is you look at the scripture. Which one interpretation is correct?
I will have a look at it.
Yeah, have a look at the scripture. No problem. Nice talking to you. See you.